Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. And today we are talking about an effort by the North Texas Food Bank. For the 23rd year, they are launching the Empty Bowls campaign. It's a campaign ongoing, culminating in a big event on February 23rd, and we're going to tell you all about it. The bowls are made by local artisans, and they're filled by local chefs. And leading the charge this year, well-known Dallas chef Uno Amanavong. Here's a little bit of her story.
My parents named me after the United Nations organization, the UNO. The United Nations helped us come from Laos to Nong Khai, Thailand, and that's where my parents gave birth to me, was in a refugee camp run by the United Nations.
I stumbled into banking for 16 years, and so when I turned 30-ish, I realized that there was more to life than just having this job that paid my bills.
What is your name?
My name is Uno.
I am honored and thrilled to have you on my team.
Yeah. And it was the second best moment in my entire life. I was in heels jumping, but now that for sure might have twisted my ankle.
And we are here now with Chef Uno. And I want to guess what the first best day of your life was. Can I do that?
Sure.
The birth of your daughter, Emma.
Oh my gosh, you got it.
No.
You get a bowl of soup.
For a moment, I thought, don't tell me that's your third best day.
My
Is
first
Emma
best
here?
day is here with you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. I met you when you were doing the taste
Yes.
with Anthony Bourdain almost a decade ago. It's hard to believe. And your little girl, the first best day of your life, was 6 years old and really following in your footsteps then. Is she still in the kitchen?
She's still in the kitchen. She doesn't film as much anymore. She cooks for her friends in college. It's her freshman year at
amazing.
ASU now. So.
And how important do you think it is for her to see you, not just as a great chef, a great businesswoman, but also as somebody who gives back to the community?
I think I know it makes her proud. So every essay I read that she writes when she's trying to get into college is about me. And you know, the thing is, you never know what impact you have on your children until you reflect back on all the things that have happened, you know, through all the hard work, through all the time that I've kept her in the kitchen, kept her in the restaurant. I thought she would resent me for that. But at the end of the day, it's really inspired her to become this empowered young woman.
And do you think that's true in a broader sense, your involvement, for example, with Empty Bowls and reaching people in a different way?
Yeah.
If you're feeding those who are affluent and able to be at your restaurant, you find a way to give back to those who may never be able to have that experience.
1000%. The reason I got in this business to start off with was because, you know, I was born in a refugee camp, and I know how it hurts to be hungry. And so to be able to help a little bit and to be able to pay it forward, because I feel like with Anthony Bourdain, even with my stint in Trinity Groves, I was given the opportunity to be able to do this. And so it's become a full circle moment, and I'm so excited to be a part of Empty Bowls.
And I want to say you've rallied other chefs who've not been part of it in the past to be a part of it. So Uno has pull, is what we're trying to say. You have pull. And what I love is you've put this kit together. These are going to be available for $19, where people can make their own bowl of food with the kit, and you've made it so easy for them to experience maybe cooking some people for the very first time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's about the versatility of all of it, but they're really highlighting what Southeastern ingredients are and how to diversify what they make at home for their family. And this is super easy too. That's something I grew up eating. It's warm and cozy, especially for cold nights like.
And it's a soup. It's called
Tom Kha soup.
Tom Kha soup. There's a bunch of different Tom something. So Tom's very busy with soups.
Tom loves soup.
Right? There's like a whole list of Tom soups, and they're just slightly different.
They're slightly different. So it's Tom Yum soup, which is just which is citrus with no coconut milk in it. This one has coconut milk. I feel like it's heartier. It stretches the budget a little bit. My mom used to take a whole chicken and make chicken broth with it, and then put coconut milk in it, and it would just be so savory and delicious.
Well, these are $19. You can buy them at redsticksstreetfood.com. That's STIX. They're $19. $5 goes to the North Texas Food Bank. And we are going to show you how easy it is to cook from this box. So we're going to make the recipe. We ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we're going to start out with making the jasmine rice. It's just going to take a little bit longer. It's the easiest step. In the packet itself is the rice and the pandan leaf. You're going to pour the contents in there with 2.5 cups of water. Bring it to a boil. Simmer, lid, 10 minutes, and it's ready.
Let's grab that box and show us how we do it. It's so beautifully wrapped and presented. It's so great.
It's like a gift.
It really is. And I know during the process of kind of innovating this box, you went the way of dried mushrooms because they last longer.
Yep. and it adds that umami flavor in there for us. And that way you can keep it a little bit longer, and then you can see and diversify it with the different proteins and vegetables that you want to add to it. I feel like a lot of folks are turned off by certain things because they don't like a certain vegetable. Now you can just say, okay, what's in the fridge? What can I put in this box? And that way you have the base for the soup.
And that's an important point about food insecurity in the North Texas Food Bank. They'll have a supply of something at one given time. They may have more sweet potatoes, they may have no carrots.
Right.
And what you encourage people to do is to substitute ingredients and just kind of experiment, right? Yeah, you could use sweet potato instead of carrots if that's all
Absolutely.
you have.
Vegetables, you want to go vegetables. If you had a rotisserie chicken, you just have the bones in the rotisserie chicken, throw that in there. And then that way you can kind of take off the meat that's on there, and the flavor from the bones actually adds more.
So there's the rice with the leaf.
Yep.
That's on the stove.
Yep.
Okay, check. We're good with that.
These are the garnishes right here, the cilantro and green onions. And then we have, that's the oil. We're only going to use half of that oil. And the reason I have extra in the box is because if you're doing other dishes like stir fry, it's there. This is my holy trinity. It's got lemongrass.
So this box could inspire somebody to make some other dishes
Absolutely.
with this oil.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then can of coconut milk. And then we have shiitake mushrooms, which are dry. And once you put them in the water, usually you put them in warm water, but you put them in the soup, it'll resuscitate it real quick.
So you don't have to reconstitute them first. Okay.
And then you have a lime, and then you have lime leaf, which is another southeastern ingredient. It's a leaf from the kaffir lime tree, and it almost has like a floral smell to it. So these are
I've
the things
wondered
that make
because
the
I've tried to
difference.
replicate some coconut soups at home, and I never quite get that aromatic part of it, and that's because I don't have these ingredients.
Well, you have Thai curry in there, and so this is
Yes.
already pre-made. So it's got about 20 ingredients, and Thai chilies, galangal, everything else,
Fish sauce.
fish sauce. And
Sugar, we need a little sugar in this.
you got to balance it because you have lime and sugar. The thing about Thai cooking is about, you have the sweet, you have the savory, you have the herbal, you have the spicy in there. And so we're going to capture all of that in the soup itself.
And chicken bouillon, that's if you don't have a chicken stock at the ready. This is just water with the bouillon.
Yeah, just throw that in there. And that's my little secret to adding flavor to things. And so I have chicken bouillon in my cabinet all the time. So whether I'm making rice soup, sometimes I even throw it in the rice itself. It just adds that extra layer of flavor that doesn't make it just aesthetic. You know what I mean? You eat food sometimes you're like, okay, that I could have added more to it. So that's like the extra.
Isn't that the thing with soup too? You sort of layer the flavors as you go. Like you should salt and pepper every part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna make this dish in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. To purchase tickets for the 23rd Empty Bowls, visit ntfb.org/empty bowls. All right, we are back. We are at the stove and we're ready to cook up our Empty Bowls box kit meal, really, that benefits the North Texas Food Bank. If you buy it for $19, $5 goes to the North Texas Food Bank. The big Empty Bowls event is on February 23rd. Tickets are $60. It really is an incredible event. Chef Uno now chairing it this year and bringing other celebrity chefs on board.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
I'm excited about this. Okay, so we have this herb oil. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. It's a combination of lemongrass, garlic, and ginger, a little olive and canola oil. Do about
And
half of this.
that's your own creation.
It is. It's my holy trinity is what I call it. And it's a great base for any Asian cuisine because it has all the aromatics that you want without the fuss of putting it together. So the lemongrass is the stalk. It's kind of tough. And so you have to blend it down. And what we're doing is, and then the garlic is minced and the ginger is in there as well. And we're gonna let this go for about a minute. What you're wanting to do is really extract the flavor and intensify it. And then we're gonna add in our curry. And my mom, this is where you build the flavors, as you said earlier, of soup, right?
Yeah.
You are building this flavor by intensifying it, and then you're layering in everything else in that. So
Because if you just threw it all in a pot and turned the heat on, you're not going to really bring the flavors
it
out.
doesn't have that soul. You know, that home cooking when you smell it, you know what the next step is. Like my mom would have a recipe. She's like, no, this is when you put it in because she recognizes the smell. I'm almost to that point where I'm like, this is what it should smell like before we start adding the next.
So
ingredient.
was she a chef? I mean, there's a cook, there's a chef. What's the difference?
You know, to me, she was a chef. She's a home cook, but she would cater to make ends meet when we were younger. And so she'd work her day job, and then on the weekend, she would cater these Thai Asian weddings. And we had an overgrown garden in the back that we would harvest from just to save money.
So you're totally inspired by her.
I loved cooking with her. And the best part was that because she worked so much, like the only time I really got to spend with her was in the kitchen. And so she doesn't remember that. I remember telling her that I wanted to get in the restaurant business, and she might have had a tear in her eye, like, no, you don't want to do that. That's too hard. Because I was in banking for 16 years prior to doing this. And
And this was your passion.
it has been my passion. It still
And
continues
this
to
is
do
starting to like almost toast up.
It is.
Crispy, right?
It is. And so you're starting to see everything a little translucent because you don't want to eat raw garlic either.
Right.
And this is that curry paste that has everything in it. So I'm going to add this in there, and it's kind of spicy. So there's 2 tablespoons, and I think you can handle it because we're going to add,
Handle the spice.
yeah. And what we're doing is this is on still medium-high heat, and I'm still going to let this simmer down a little bit, reduce down a little bit. So the paste is going to be a little stickier. So we're going to toast this up and let it reduce down to concentrate the flavors. And then we're going to add in our coconut cream. We're only going to add half because we want to reduce this down too. And then we're going to add the other half at the very end to finish it so it still maintains that nice richy broth without like dairy in it.
Oh my gosh.
Look at how rich this color is. And we're just really going to reduce this down maybe like a quarter to what it is right now. And then we're going to add in our water, our chicken bouillon in lieu of chicken broth. If you have chicken broth, use the chicken broth, of course. So we're going to add that 6 cups in. So I want to let this reduce down a little bit. I'm turn the heat back up a little bit. This is what we're serving up at the Empty Bowls event as well, but we're going to do chicken with it and some fresh mushrooms as well. And so you'll get a bowl of love from
But
me.
you could put whatever protein you have.
Absolutely. Pork, beef, or veggies. Heck, you probably put paneer in here. Paneer? The Indian cheese?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is almost like a texture of meat itself. It's so dense, right?
Yeah. Tofu?
Tofu.
Any of that. All right. So this is getting down to the consistency that we want. We're going to add in our 6 cups of water. You want to do that?
Sure.
I'm just going to,
We're doing 4 and 2 here.
yep. It's fantastic. And then, good. And then I'm going to put in the bouillon cube, and that'll dissolve itself in there. We have sugar. Just want to keep this a little
It's not a lot of sugar, right? It's just
It's a teaspoon of sugar.
So great. That just cuts some of the citrus, right?
Yep. And then I'll have you open that package. This is kaffir lime leaf. This is another aromatic. It's in the curry already, but I like to have it in there because the fresh leaves add a huge difference. I consider this like an Asian spaghetti sauce, Ron.
Yeah, really, it is, right?
And typically you would reconstitute this, but because we have it in liquid, it's going to absorb all of this broth in there. It's going to be perfect. I'm still going to have this on medium-high heat. I've got some mushrooms in here that I just had in the fridge. And so whatever veggies you guys have, you put that in there. I have about a cup of chicken breast in here. So I'm going to put this in here.
Now, this is a question I had for you.
Yeah.
You do not brown the chicken or do anything to cook it beforehand.
You can if you want to, but typically I just
This
throw
makes
in
it
there.
a little more tender, and that's the trick. I
But if
didn't
you wanted
realize
to
that.
brown it with the at the beginning, you certainly can. I think it's a preference because this is your style of cooking, right? So you make it your own. I'm not going to say you can't do one or the
But
other.
I love
It's just
like the translucent, non-brown kind of poached
Yeah.
chicken almost, right?
Exactly. So we're going to let this go for about 5-6 minutes just because we want the chicken to cook through. If you had even like chicken thighs or chicken legs, you can put that in there and put the whole thing in, put the lid on, almost make it like a stew, right? So
I'm
it,
so
it
ordering.
becomes morphed into what you want it to be.
I'm so ordering one of these boxes. And, no, really, I think you're going to inspire me to maybe do some more Asian cooking.
I can't wait. I need to see more pictures. You need to tag me on that.
Do you pick the leaf out?
You just
Like
don't
you would with a bay leaf, you would take it out. Do you,
You
take
can,
the
yes, you would take it out. You don't have to. You don't need to serve it, but I mean, just serve around it. So now we're going to add the remaining ingredients into here. So that's the half a can of the coconut milk that was left over, right? And typically I would put.
I didn't catch that, so you didn't put all the coconut milk in.
So I just still wanted to have that richness at the end. So I leave half, and usually I would put a little water in here, slosh it around.
Don't waste a drop.
This is what you do in Italian cooking too. You
Right.
get the
You
spaghetti.
put the white
sauce.
wine in you shake it
Yeah,
up.
that's it. There you go. That's not in the recipe. That's like one of those adjusted things. And so lime, half a lime. You can always add more. Some people like it more tart than this. And then we're gonna put the fish sauce in, and it's done.
And there's not fish in fish sauce.
It's fish
Is
that's
there
been like
really? Cooked
fish
down?
in water that's been fermented. So imagine like fish in barrels with like water. And,
I don't want to imagine that. Let's just say it tastes good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
There you go. It's anchovies. Think about anchovies.
Like I said, let's just
Okay. This is done, and then we're gonna ladle this into our bowls. That's done, and then our rice is done. You want me to take the lid off
Yeah,
here? You want to put
let's
it over
do
there?
it.
Okay. This rice is done, and so I love using the clear lid, and then we're just gonna fluff it like this. And so let's put a little. You want to plate it over
I
there?
love how like you didn't attend to this or do anything, and it's perfect.
That's how you do it. Look,
It can be
I'm
that
a busy
easy.
woman.
If you follow instructions, it can be that easy.
It can be. Yep.
Okay.
I'll put.
Now we have to point out here we're using artisan bowls from years past,
Correct.
which is such an important part of this event that local artisans make the bowls that you can buy at the event.
Correct.
So that's another part of this. It really just goes to show, doesn't it, that food is a community. It brings people
together.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, this bowl is going to be yours. It's like got everything. We're going to garnish it over there, though. So I'll let you have that one.
Nice.
I'll take this one, the sample size one.
Yeah, what's that about?
You know. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab a spoon for us. That's what I've been using. This is going to be your spoon. There you go.
And we've got other artisan bowls here as well from years
So,
past.
I mean, they have so many different varieties. Like there's one made of wood. There's a large one, small one.
Could I get a smaller spoon?
Nope. I have a tasting spoon for you. You know
If I
what?
could just get a smaller spoon, this would be so good.
It was supposed to be our tasting spoon. And now that I see that, I'm
God,
just
you
like,
really are putting me on a diet.
I'm going to give you an Asian spoon because you know what? This is what it is all about.
Oh, now we're talking.
Like an Asian ladle.
Cheers.
All right.
All right, let's try it. It never gets better tasting food on camera, right? The slurping and the,
So good.
it's so good. It's
glad
just
you like it.
perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you made it look so easy, and I really do think because of the kit you've put together, you have made it easy, and you're going to inspire people to experiment a little more with your style of cooking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I should take smaller bites like this on camera. You do. I haven't perfected it quite yet.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, you never really perfect it. By the way, the boxes can be pre-ordered beginning January 16th through February 8th.
Yep.
And they are going to be available for pickup on February 10th.
Correct.
And the event, again, is on the 23rd.
Third.
So it's 23rd annual on the 23rd in the year 23.
Yep. 23 is a lucky number this year.
Should be easy to remember. And could you think of a better way to spend $60? If you're going to spend $60 on dinner, spend it at this event, help the North Texas Food Bank, and bring attention to the cause.
Absolutely. How many people can we feed on $60?
$1 can feed 3 people.
Wow.
It's pretty remarkable, right?
So that's 180 people on that $60. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's really great. So thank you.
So we get to
Thank
eat
you.
and
We
we get to
do.
feed other people too.
Yes, and make sure you learn more about the North Texas Food Bank, all that they do in our community, and the Empty Bowls campaign. Thank you for joining us, everyone, for Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. I'm Ron Corning along with Chef Uno, and we'll see you next time. To support the North Texas Food Bank anytime, visit ntfb.org.
Do you want to taste a little bit of it before we put everything else in here? I'll get you a spoon. Oh wait, you know what? The chicken's probably not cooked yet. We'll just taste it in a minute.
You trying
just
to kill
save,
me?
Just save your spoon. Just yeah.
Salmonella.
I thought you needed to lose some weight, Ron.
I do, actually. Is this how you're going to do it?
Yes.
We're going to feed him raw chicken. He'll take off those last 5 pounds in no time. My God, she's feeding me raw
I was like,
chicken.
you're